The Quill. I designed this board alongside the Tranq. It's as a complement to the Tranq, and it's supposed to give you an option that is maybe closer to this previous 6 generations of Tranq that I had done on Axis, whereas this 7th generation has been tweaked slightly for more performance, and it's a little bit narrower than the previous generations of Tranq were. So the Quill is more in line with that width in the middle and in the nose and tail that you got on the previous 6 generations. I can show you that here. I've got this 155 6th generation Tranq, and as you can see, the width in these tips is very similar. The mid width is also super similar, and yeah, overall the Quill gives you that feeling of an original Tranq, basically. What it lacks compared to the Tranq is that it doesn't have that heel side and toe side channel in the mid of the board. And what that heel side and toe side channel does is give you a little bit more directional stability and a little bit more grip when you're finless. So in maybe a toe side run up to a kicker, you might notice that the Tranq's just a little bit more grippy than the Quill would be. But overall, you still do get quite a bit of directional stability from this central concave running tip to tip. It's a 3mm deep concave. Previous Tranqs had 4mm in the tip, blended to 2mm in the midsection, but I've just left it a consistent 3mm central concave, as I think that approach just provides something that could possibly be less draggy and a bit more hydrodynamic. So overall, the Quill is the board for the people that are looking for something similar to the old Tranq, that get that bit more stable platform, a little bit more consistent than the current Tranq, and a little bit stiffer flex profile as well, because it's missing that heel side and toe side channel, and it has a little bit more width. So just having a bit more volume to the board, it is a little bit stiffer overall. It's not a huge amount stiffer, but yeah, that width does add a tiny bit more stiffness as well. It's got the same construction as all the other boards in the lineup, which is that full wood CNC'd core, and that's CNC'd per size. So each of the sizes of board are CNC'd to their own file, so they taper differently on each of the sizes, so you get the correct flex profile for the smaller sizes and the bigger sizes. Why is this important? Well, a lot of brands simply just make one mold, they have one CNC file, and they just cut the board out and then cut it to length. And just cutting the tips off a longer board to make a shorter board, obviously your rail's not going to taper the same as it would for a bigger rider on a bigger board. You're going to have thicker rails towards the nose, which are going to give you a smaller, stiffer board, and usually a bigger, longer, flexier board. But with the OASI boards, we've got those CNC files, and every board is CNC top and bottom to give you the correct taper for the size and the correct flex profile. Another thing we've got on the boards is that full Ptex sintered base. So as you can see, this is actually the only Quill I've ever ridden, and it's still completely fine. I've ridden a ton of rails with it, a ton of park, ridden up the beach, ridden over rocks, whatever else, and that's holding up with, I mean, pretty much no serious problems at all. So having a consistent and predictable slider base is something important if you're riding in the park. And I think it's also just important for that average rider that really just wants a board that's durable and it's going to last. And I just don't see the point of buying a board that doesn't have a slider base. So when you're buying a board, I think you should consider that if you want a board that's going to last you longer than a couple of years. Overall, the Quill is really a board for everyone. I mean, it's a very easy board to ride. It's less technical, I think, than the Tranq. It's a little bit smoother, a little bit easier, but overall it's quite much of a sameness, just that little bit more width per size, which some people might enjoy or not. It's up to you. You just need to try it out, and you're going to find that out pretty quickly. So yeah, if you have any other questions, or you just want to know something about the Quill or any of the other boards in the lineup, hit me up in the comments or hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, whatever else, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions. Hope you have fun out there, and hope you get on the water and get some sessions in. Peace.